This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to my review of Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 6. Sorry, this is out even later than I expected. I did not get that many opportunities to record, and every time I did, I kept getting interrupted. I was finally able to finish this at like 6:45, and that's what I'm recording this part, just redoing the intro because, yeah, this was extremely delayed. I started recording this at like 2:30, and I kept getting interrupted. So I had to keep just dragging this out, and then I had to go out somewhere. So this took forever to get out, but I finally have it out. And I will have a LEGO review out tomorrow, plus a review of the Marvel one-shots. As long as I have the time, I will do a Clone Wars recap and review on Saturday. If not, I'll have a review of Agent Carter. Fully depends on how much time I have to record tomorrow because I'm not really sure. I have not had much time to record in recent days, or had too much time to stream. So I am sorry, I did get a comment about this, and I'm going to try my best to go and stream a little more, but I don't have too much access to my PS4 all the time. So I'm mainly doing Steam games. I'm going to finish up my replay of LEGO Indiana Jones, going through all the story missions in free play, and then I will probably do Knights of the Old Republic as long as it works. There are some problems when you try to stream the game, so as long as that works, I'll do Knights of the Republic 1 and 2. And I'll make a video of that because I'm gonna do something to try and get more subscribers with Light Side and Dark Side. But that's for a different video. Let's just go right into this review. Reva arrives on Tatooine and begins to ask where the farmer named Owen is. Meanwhile, Vader pursues Obi-Wan as his Star Destroyer fires upon the ship he is in. As Obi-Wan realizes that he has to leave to go and distract Vader and pull him away, Leia refuses and does not want him to go, but Obi-Wan begins to explain himself. Back on Tatooine, Owen is warned that someone is looking for Luke, and this terrifies Owen, who rushes home with Luke. Obi-Wan speaks to Haja and asks him to make sure that Leia gets home, and Haja promises to do that. Owen and Beru talk about it and decide to stay home and to defend Luke instead of trying to run. Obi-Wan then goes and says goodbye to Leia as he prepares to leave, and he finally goes to the head of the Jedi path and tells him that the galaxy will need leaders, and that he could be one of them. After Obi-Wan's ship leaves, it is detected, and although the Grand Inquisitor thinks that they should go and follow the main ship, Vader orders them to follow Obi-Wan's ship since he's the only one that matters. And with this, Obi-Wan is able to distract them, and the members of the Jedi Path are able to escape. Owen and Beru explain to Luke that Tusken Raiders are attacking them, and tell Luke to stay hidden down here, and if anything bad happens, for him to run. And Obi-Wan lands upon a world to draw Vader out. After landing there, he discovers that Leia has left Lola with him, and he is definitely happy about this gesture. Meanwhile, Reva arrives at the Lars homestead, and at the same time, Vader lands upon the planet to confront his former master. Obi-Wan and Vader ignite their blades and begin to duel once again, and are mainly evenly matched in this fight. Back on Tatooine, Reva is going through the Lars homestead and gets into a firefight with Owen and Beru, who try to protect Luke. Obi-Wan and Vader continue to duel upon the world. As Obi-Wan gets more powerful in the Force, once again, he tries to pull on a boulder on Vader, who goes and is impressed that Obi-Wan has returned to his former glory, and Vader tells him that there's still no chance for him to win as he goes and rips the ground out under Obi-Wan. and leaves him in a hole as he goes and throws multiple boulders on top of him, burying Obi-Wan alive. Managing to knock out Owen, Reva continues on as Luke manages to escape out a window when she enters into the room to take him. Calling onto the Force, Obi-Wan goes and remembers all the good things about his life and the people he cares about, and uses that to be able to use the Force and break through the rocks that are covering him, and goes to confront Vader once again. Obi-Wan fights Vader, and the battle begins to get more intense as Obi-Wan lifts up rocks behind them and begins to throw them at Vader. Reva continues to look for Luke, who is hiding above her, and she begins to notice where he is. Obi-Wan and Vader continue to fight as Obi-Wan is beating down on his former apprentice. He not only is able to make a blow with the butt of his lightsaber, destroying his chest panel, he also hits him in the shoulder, wounding Vader, and finally destroys his helmet, slicing it with his lightsaber. Obi-Wan now can see the face of Anakin, and hears as both the voice of his former apprentice and the modulated voice of Darth Vader are mixed together, and Obi-Wan is devastated. He looks upon his former apprentice and apologizes for everything, but Vader goes and coldly replies that Obi-Wan did not kill Anakin Skywalker, that Vader did that himself, and horrified by this, Obi-Wan realizes that the man he saw as a brother is dead, but since he still does not have the will to go and kill his former apprentice, so he leaves Vader there, who begins to shout Obi-Wan's name, demanding for him to return as Obi-Wan leaves him. Obi-Wan senses the danger that Luke is in and begins to rush back to Tatooine. Although at this point Reva is ready to go and execute Luke, as she raises the saber above her head, she is flashing back to all the horrible things that happened to her. And we now cut back to Owen and Beru, who are looking for Luke, and Obi-Wan joins them, asking what happened as they continue to look for him. Reva returns with Luke, saying that she was not able to go through with it. As Owen and Beru take Luke away, Reva goes to Obi-Wan and explains how she believes she failed since she did not have the strength to kill Luke. But Obi-Wan tells her that she needs to be ready and willing to move forward, and after she does this, she'll be able to go and move forward in her life and return to being a Jedi. Reva leaves her Inquisitor lightsaber and leaves the world of Tatooine. Meanwhile, Vader is contacted by his master, Darth Sidious, who is better known as Emperor Palpatine to the rest of the galaxy, and he is furious with Vader, telling him that Kenobi is not everything and he needs to get past this. And Vader just tells his master that he is loyal to him and Kenobi means nothing. Vader disconnects from his master and is still furious that Kenobi has escaped from him, but knows that his master doesn't want him to be obsessing over this, so he'll have to be a little more quiet in his search. Leia prepares to meet with some other people. She doesn't know who she's meeting with yet, but has decided to go and do what her family wants and not be as rebellious to the members of her family, and at least do what they want so she could help other people. And she notices that it's Obi-Wan who has visited her, who is returning Lola to her, and wanted to meet with Bail Organa to tell him that if he ever needs him again, just to contact him. Obi-Wan goes and tells Leia that he has to leave now, and even though she wants him to stay, she does understand that he has to go off and do his own thing. Obi-Wan also explains that she cannot tell anybody of this and needs to keep this all a secret. Leia goes and hugs Obi-Wan goodbye as Obi-Wan returns to Tatooine. Obi-Wan goes to his cave and begins to pack all of his stuff up, likely moving to his new home, which we see in A New Hope. And with this, he goes and visits Owen before he continues on. He tells Owen that Luke should have a childhood, and he won't get in the way of that. And Owen offers for him to go and say hello to Luke and meet him. Obi-Wan goes over and gives Luke the toy, saying hello there. Obi-Wan continues to ride, seeing a surprising sight. His master, Qui-Gon Jinn, has finally reached out to him as a Force ghost. Qui-Gon begins to talk to his former apprentice, telling him that he was always able to contact him. Obi-Wan was just not ready to speak to him. And with this, Qui-Gon explains that he has a lot to talk about with Obi-Wan. Disappearing for now, Obi-Wan rides off into the sunset. And yeah, overall, I love this episode. The only problem I really had is I think that Reva probably should have died, or at least had more to see her become redeemed, because I don't think she has earned her redemption yet. Looking at her, I think there's definitely some stuff for her to be redeemed, and I just think that she has not earned it yet, and if she does get her own show, or if her story continues, if a season 2 happens, which I think should only happen if they have a good story to tell, since if they don't have a good story, I think that they should avoid it, since it won't feel that good, and overall, I loved this season. And looking at this one, I really love this episode. I think that the fight between Obi-Wan and Vader was awesome. It is definitely something to compare with their other fights. Yeah, looking at it, I think that it was really interesting to see all of this. I think they did a good job with young Leia, and it was also done well with young Luke. And with that, I think that they handled everything really well. They made sure not to contradict any of the movies. And with this, they didn't even have him see a lightsaber as he ran away. And I think that was all really cool. And it was awesome just to see how much both Owen and Beru loved Luke, and how they were fully willing to put their lives on the line to protect him. And I think that was really nice. It was also awesome to see Obi-Wan say hello there. And it was definitely a moment that they didn't need to put it in, but I think everyone wanted them to do it, and they did. And just talking about my favorite part of the episode is when Vader's mask is broken and he's going and talking to Obi-Wan. I just love that moment because we just get to see just the anger and everything, and how he wants revenge on his former master, but he admits that Obi-Wan isn't the one who created Darth Vader, and Anakin did create Darth Vader and killed off the personality of Anakin Skywalker. And this helps explain so much of how Obi-Wan thinks and why he thought there was no redemption for Anakin. In this moment, he truly gives up and sees that his old friend is dead, and that Darth Vader only remains. And although he was wrong about that, he wasn't going to be able to want to bring back Anakin, and only his son was capable of doing it. Yeah, I think that was such a great scene as he's yelling Obi-Wan's name. That was just such a great moment, and I really loved that. There's also the scene with Palpatine. I think that was really cool to see. That's something they didn't have to do either, but it just looked really cool. And it was nice to see Ian McDiarmid play Palpatine once again. And then looking at just a few other things, they definitely did have to put Qui-Gon in there, and that's because they just kept teasing him. If they didn't do anything to tease Qui-Gon being in the show, Yeah, they definitely didn't have to put him in, but with the rule of Chekhov's gun, which is basically the concept that in a story you don't go and introduce things that are unnecessary to the plot. And with that, they definitely had to do that since he kept trying to communicate with Qui-Gon, although they sort of did drop it with the fifth brother and Reva, and I think he should have also been there with the Grand Inquisitor just to look over her defeat. But I just guess I'm not sure why they cut that out, but I feel like that would have been a little more interesting. And with Reva's redemption, as I said, I don't think she's fully earned it yet, and she just wasn't able to kill Luke. I think that was a well done scene where she just realized she just couldn't be the monster anymore, but I think she just needs so much more to redeem herself because she still isn't a good person, but is willing to put in the work, and I'm definitely interested to see where her storyline continues. I also wonder what happens to the members of the Jedi Path, and if they go and join the rebellion, or if they are wiped out by the events of A New Hope. I also really like how Leia has developed in this, and she sees that she has to both be a leader and that she has to fight, and I really just did like that. I think young Leia was a great part of the series, and it was interesting to see her in this. And yeah, honestly, I really enjoyed this show. I know some people didn't love it as much, but I think it's been really good. There are some plot holes. One of the more minor things is I think that Liam Neeson's accent was a little too heavy while playing Qui-Gon. I do know that I think he normally does have this accent, but he did not have it in episode 1. I went and checked a few clips, and he did not use his accent in the film, so that is a small little plot hole, but I think it can be explained just by just a small little mistake. Nothing too crazy, but still, I really did enjoy this. And yeah, honestly, I want to know what you think of the show. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Or are you in between? Please let me know in the comments. And I'll see you on the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.